Bournemouth nil, Liverpool 4. And the question now becomes, are Liverpool title favorites? I, as a fan, will always say that more than likely Liverpool aren't title favorites, but after that kind of performance today, I mean, you know, it's hard to say they aren't. I mean, this match had everything. It showed that Liverpool are a side that are going to be hard to face for anybody. Even Bournemouth, the side who recently were in great form, they only had just lost their most recent game against Tottenham, who is a hard side, but they were on a win streak of 4 before that. And quite frankly, the way that all kind of ends up playing out is that going into this game, there was some doubt. Salah just picked up the injury, the hamstring at the AFCON. How long will he be out? Will his injury be extended past the initial duration he was expected to miss for AFCON? Endo's still out. The midfield kind of concerns that might arise out of, lacking that kind of defensive midfielder. Sobosai also being out, lack of creativity there. Trent out, lack of experience and creativity at right back. But all in all, I just want to go from, the goalie all the way through the squad and talk about everybody real quick for Liverpool, because I think everybody kind of deserves a tremendous amount of plaudits today. Starting with Alisson Becker, there was one or two moments where Alisson seemed a little shaky, where Solanke would chase him down, but all in all, he didn't have much to do, as Bournemouth only had one shot on target and he comfortably caught it. They had 11 shots in total, Bournemouth, with 39.1 possession of the ball. But they did beat Liverpool on corners 8-5. They're saying 5, not 6. I counted 6, but all in all, Alisson Becker was fantastic. He when needed made a save. He was distributing fairly well. There was one or two moments where there was the press and I thought that he'd miscued the pass, or he'd lose control, and he didn't, and he did well. So credit to him there. Conor Bradley. Immediately, Conor Bradley had a fantastic, fantastic game. He looks, and this is something that I've seen a lot of people compare him to. He's explosive, he's dynamic, he's hardworking, robust, goes forward, puts in a tackle, not afraid to put his body on the line. The best part about him is the fact that he's from the academy. Obviously, this player is not from the academy, but he reminds me of Andrew Robertson on the right-hand side. I've seen people refer to him as right side Robbo, and I just love it. He's fantastic, still very young. He got subbed off for even more youngsters. Owen Beck came on for him. So exciting stuff, all in all, seeing him perform. Fantastic going forward, fantastic defensively. Just honestly, rate the kid to bits already. He seems like a top tier talent. And, for Liverpool, being able to bring these players in through the academy, it saves you the money of having to need to invest on backups, but they're also probably going to be more tied to the club being there for such a long period of time. And it just provides, a breeding ground for healthy competition. So that's very nice to see. Beyond that, I think that the center back partnership today was immense. Konate and Virgil, I think, are the best center back duo in the league at this point in terms of form, in terms of quality. Konate, for seasons and seasons, did not get the credit he deserved. Admittedly, he was out at several points because he is, a player who needs to be rotated sometimes, a player who has some injury-prone issues at periods. But I don't think that takes away from his quality whatsoever. Whenever he's back from an injury, there's never that much of a drop down in quality. And if there is, he's so good that the drop down is still a fairly good player in and of himself. Virgil van Dijk, fantastic performance today as well. Wonderful from the captain, really. I don't have really a bad thing to say about him. Just commanding at the back, handled Solanke very easily, made it feel like there was never a chance of them scoring, and at the end they didn't score. At left back, Joe Gomez was brilliant. He's become more of a Swiss Army defender in the sense that he plays across the whole back line. He's played at center back, obviously, the most for Liverpool, but this last season and now this season as well, he's been playing at both right back and left back. And I think left back might be his best position for some reason because it provides him the ability to kind of invert as like an additional body in the midfield to create an overload or, go forward or even drop back and be part of like the back three with Virgil and Konate. And honestly, I think at that position, I mean, obviously I still would rate Robbo ahead of him there and maybe even Costas in certain situations in certain games. But with Joe Gomez, honestly, him at left back, fantastic cover. Great to see him get some more kind of minutes in the squad and kind of find some new ways to grow as a player and grow within the squad and provide us with even more kind of tactical know-how and flexibility. So lovely stuff from Joe Gomez. The midfield today was McAllister, Jones, and Harvey, and they were, there's moments where they would like lose the ball or something, but let me just start from the main talking point, which I would say is Alexis McAllister's performance, which was fantastic. So many interceptions, so many second balls won, so many stand tackles that just out of nothing, McAllister would just press at the perfect time, win the ball, neutralize any sort of threat. And on top of that was creating some brilliant plays with his passing. Just really confident on the ball. Alexis always wanted it. As soon as the ball was, kind of like given back to Liverpool controlling it, you could see that McAllister was waiting to start counters. He was waiting to play those long balls. He had a long ball to Darwin that was brilliant too, where Darwin controlled it really nicely. It didn't amount to much. It was in the first half, but brilliant performance from Alexis. Honestly, probably one of the best players on the pitch today. But Jones and Elliott today showed a lot of chemistry as well. I don't think either one necessarily had any moments that made them shine brighter than the other, but they put in a shift defensively, offensively, quick ball movement, quick presses, good structure for them. Jones seemed like he went off with a knock later on. I don't know if it was just kind of like a slight kind of like tweak or something, or if it was like something more serious. But the midfield was fantastic. Curtis and Harvey are growing into wonderful players at Liverpool, and I think that their continued growth is just added benefits to Liverpool, really. Any time they kind of manage to get an assist or get a goal, they become better versions of themselves and in part become more kind of, valuable to the squad and then end up becoming better and more gelled in. So I just love seeing it. Wonderful stuff from them, really. In the sense that they've been able to really just kind of fill these gaps that were left over from last season. Also, I forgot to add, Connor Bradley got an assist today to Diogo Jota. It has stood, and Joe Gomez got an assist as well to Darwin. But the Connor Bradley assist was crazy because Jota like miscued the ball and struck it again on the follow-up. But the front line, Luis Diaz, arguably the least impressive, but I still think he was fantastic. He was subbed out early for Gakpo. But I thought he was still wonderful, provided some good kind of threats down the right-hand side for Bournemouth to have to consider constantly. But obviously not his natural position. He's better suited on the left. But either way, him and Harvey could get some use, get some time to get used to each other, I think. And on top of that, with Luis Diaz, I think something you always have to consider is that with him, you're not necessarily, he provides a lot beyond just the contribution, through a goal or an assist. He provides you a lot of width. Today, you didn't get to see as much of that, but he was still pretty wonderful, I think. Darwin and Jota, though. Darwin just straight up silencing the haters. Wonderful performance from him. A brace, his second brace of the season. matter of fact. And I think that now that puts Darwin Nunez at in the Premier League at least 7 goals and 6 assists in 20 matches. That's incredible for him. He's getting involved in fantastic opportunities in certain situations where he'll, be able to get more assists, get these kind of cleaner kind of opportunities to bury these chances. Obviously, he misses a lot, but seeing that he's not just scoring goals or not just assisting, he's doing both and he's doing them at a more frequent rate now is wonderful news for Liverpool. Diogo Jota, though, man the match by far. 2 goals and an assist. And man, Jota's back, baby. And Diogo Jota proves time and time again that he's one of the best forwards in the league. I mean, this season alone, 15 matches, 7 goals, 2 assists. Need I say more? Just wonderful stuff from Diogo Jota, my man the match personally. And yeah, just incredible performance from him. Also, Cody Gakpo got an assist off the bench. Thought I'd add that. Besides that, Gravenberch didn't really impress too much. He was fine. No one really was bad, I would say, for Liverpool. It's just that they were kind of more subdued performances from someone, say, like Gravenberch or Allison, who didn't necessarily have to do a ton. But, we saw Bobby Clark come on at the end. We saw Owen Beck come on. And then in the 90th minute, Cade Gordon came on for, I believe it was Diogo Jota, yeah. But wonderful performance from Liverpool. Wonderful game management by Klopp. Andoni Iraiola's men will feel a little hard done by that loss. But, hey, it'll be a good learning experience. It's still a very young side, Bournemouth. But I think Liverpool deserved that win thoroughly. They played brilliant, and that was a proper champions display. I don't know if it's time right now to start calling them favorites. There's a lot of football to be played. The gap at the top still isn't that huge. City still has a game in hand. They win that game in hand. It's back to 2 points off the top for them. And, that gap to Arsenal now is 5 points. So Arsenal, Aston Villa, 5 points behind Liverpool on the same amount of games played. Spurs in 5th, 8 points behind. And then the next closest team is West Ham, 13 points behind. So really it's just Liverpool or City at this point, it feels like. Obviously Arsenal still in it, Villa's still in it, but it does feel like a bit more of an outside kind of hope for them at this point that they'll get those results they'll need, because as the run-in gets more tricky, and you get more of these games, I think we'll see. Arsenal had a fantastic match yesterday, but 5-0 at home against Palace is not necessarily the same as 4-0 away to Bournemouth. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Comment down below with your thoughts on this fixture. Subscribe if you're new and like the video if you enjoyed. I'm Sideline Sedo. Peace.